afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome live from the College Ave Gym, the Barn. BTN Plus brings you live coverage of the final match of the 2019 Rutgers Invitational, as we've got a title on the line, and it'll be an ACC and Big Ten clash as the Rutgers Scarlet Knights meet the Virginia Cavaliers. It should be a tasty matchup here this afternoon, the final match of the Invitational. Welcome to the broadcast, folks. Pat Boyle alongside you, along with the rest of our BTN Plus production crew. And after this weekend, not most would have predicted that Rutgers and Virginia would be playing for the title, but here we are. Probably the favorites going into the weekend, Princeton, who just missed an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament last year. They went 0-3 this weekend. The real surprise was Towson going 2-1, winning the first set against Rutgers, but ultimately falling. The Scarlet Knights, they've won both of their matchups in 4 sets against Towson and Princeton. And the Cavaliers, after taking down Princeton yesterday afternoon, they fell to Towson last night, but the Cavaliers can try to win at least a share of the title with a win against the Scarlet Knights here today. Both of these teams have had pretty good weekends. The Scarlet Knights, after going 0-3 last weekend in their tip-off tournament in Northern Colorado, they have bounced back very, very nicely. Head coach C.J. Wernicke has been happy with the way this team has produced. They've gotten back to what they've done so well all of last year, and that is blocking. And they've got a really good test in front of them today with ACC all preseason team selection Sarah Billiard. They're going to have to stop her, along with a couple of other key faces for the Cavs. Meanwhile, Rutgers, they will bring a very balanced attack. Becca Koyadinovich and Tali Marmon each had 18 kills yesterday in the win against Princeton. They'll be on display today, and we are just about ready to go. Rutgers in the white and black, Virginia in the all-Cavalier blue. Marmon going for the first kill, and she will get it. Picking up right where she left off yesterday, the 6'2 sophomore from Ariel Israel had the career-high 18 kills and hit .351 yesterday against Princeton. She was a menace from start to finish. Cavs counter and immediately get on the board on the far side. And they get going with Jelena Novakovic, the 6'3 senior from Serbia, second on the team last year in kills. Marilyn Veit had it blocked back. That time coming from Novakovic and Mila Cyprian, the 6'2 sophomore from St. John's, Florida, who set the freshman record last year for most blocks per set. Service error there, and when you stack these two teams side by side, both from Power 5 conferences and both roster makeup pretty similar. These two teams were very young last year. They return a combined 13 of 14 starters, with Sabria McLetchie on Rutgers, the only graduate from last year's starting lineup. There's Maximova. It's dug out. Nice job that time from Kelsey Miller. Marmon over the top. Free ball for Rutgers. They'll go back to Maximova, the Russian. Had a rough opening weekend last week, but she has bounced back very nicely. Had 8 kills and 7 digs yesterday against Princeton. But again, back to before, Virginia returning every single one of their starters from last year, a team that went just 8-20. Finished near the bottom of the ACC, as Rutgers has the first ace. And we mentioned the Scarlet Knights. They were one of the youngest teams in the country last year, only losing Sabria McLetchie. And both of these teams with a lot of expectations, a lot of higher expectations this season. Right in the middle, it's Cyprian with the finish. Another thing that makes these two teams very similar is they both are very good defensively, and that is their MOs. We talked about Rutgers, their blocking ability. Virginia as well. When these two teams are playing good defense, they are tough to stop. very early on here in the season. Be very interesting to see what kind of picture gets painted today in this match. Scarlet Knights an early 5-3 lead. At the cleanest of cuts that time from Madison Matthews, freshman from Charleston, South Carolina, but she's got herself the first kill. Plenty of new faces for Virginia, this team under third-year head coach Aaron Smith. Meanwhile, for Rutgers, only 2 new faces, and not a lot of people expecting them to make gigantic impacts on this team. Caitlin Kikta and Tessa Lawson. It's really that gigantic freshman group from last year that are now veteran sophomores, if you will, that will lead the way for Rutgers this year. Down the line, the kill from Christine Jarman, junior from Boynton Beach, Florida. Gotten off to a good start in terms of her efficiency this year, hitting over 330 on the season. Of course, can't discount the 3 seniors on the Rutgers team this year. There's one of them, Jasmine Stackhouse, but didn't get the timing right there. The other's their defensive leader, Carissa Swackenberg, who by the end of this season could make herself into the top 5 in all-time digs list at Rutgers. The other senior being Stasha Milevich, who we will certainly see at some point this match. Maximova misses her mark, and the Who's have run off 4 in a row to take a 7-6 lead. Alex Spencer to serve. Back set for Stackhouse, and she got it right through the middle. Stackhouse, not the usual offensive numbers we're used to seeing from her yesterday, just 1 kill in each match, but she offers a consistent veteran presence in the middle that can get it done on both sides. Nice placement that time, coming from Sarah Billiard. We mentioned she was the lone Cavalier on the 2019 All-ACC preseason team, a Virginia team that, not getting a lot of love in the coaches poll, picked 14th out of 15 in the ACC. Marmon's got herself another kill. Rutgers, meanwhile, picked to finish last. They have certainly a lot to prove this year. They took a big step forward last year, set numerous team records. They did not win a Big Ten match. They certainly came close on a couple of occasions. And Maximova had it blocked back. Cyprian again leading the charge. We talked about the records that Mila Cyprian set. Freshman record for blocks per set. Also finished 6th in the entire ACC in blocking. And she even turned up her play even more in conference play as Ina Belico finishes the dump set kill. Maybe the best all-around player on this roster this year, Ina Belico. One of the best setters in the conference last year, and did so as a freshman. And she can serve, she can block, and she can do that as well, set up her teammates. Maximova working hard for the dig. Here's Marmon. Free ball, a chance for the Scarlet Knights to get back in system. And there's Koyanenovich. She had a monster performance yesterday, career-high 18 kills. Went along with 10 digs for the double-double and hit .531 against Princeton. The Tigers had absolutely no answer for her all day long yesterday. That one never made it. And we talked yesterday at length about Koyaninovich after a quiet freshman campaign, broke out last year as a sophomore. Certainly the expectations are for her to step up even more this season. That one got through, and it's Novakovic. 6'3" senior offers a lot of versatility and a lot of length with that left hand on the far side. She can play on the right side or the outside, and gives Aaron Smith plenty of more choices on the front line. Bad first contact there from Maximova. That is one of the big things that C.J. Wernicke stressed going into this weekend with this team. A lot of costly, unforced errors last weekend in Northern Colorado. Much better there. Here's Marmon. There's the block from the Scarlet Knights. That's the first of the match for them. And it was Marmon and Meryl Levite, the sophomore from Germany. Error. I think it's going to go against Virginia, and it will. Doing the officiating today, our head referee, Jeffrey McKinney, on your near side above the posts. On the far side, the second referee is Charles Azigbo. And the line judges, Annie Hung and Jacques Benoit. And we've got our first time out here. An exciting first set early on. And the final match of the Rutgers Invitational. Scarlet Knights and the Cavaliers going at it on BTN+.
Be sure to download the Rutgers Athletics Game Day app on your smartphone. It is a new enhanced version. Get up to date with original parking, stats, promotions, and more. We are going free, so roster cards are available with the app as well. Search Rutgers Game Day in the app store to download the free enhanced Rutgers Athletics app today. Attention fans, if you are not affiliated with Rutgers University and have parked on campus for today's final game, be sure to visit ScarletKnights.com/parking for the link to register your vehicle for free guest parking, which will be validated for the entire 2019 season. For more information, please visit the promotional table located in the lobby entrance of the bar. Your score is set 1. Rutgers 13 and Virginia 11.
Back here on BTN Plus. If you're just joining us, early going here midway through the opening set. Rutgers trying to do something they could not do last year, win the Invitational on their home court. Virginia Cavaliers standing in their way. And Jelena Novakovic got herself another kill here in the early going. Maximova could not get the deflection there, so that goes long. Cavaliers already out of that timeout from head coach Aaron Smith. Look much more in system on defense, look much more compact. We'll see Nastia Kudryashova, another sophomore from Russia, come in here. I mentioned the Scarlet Knights going 0-3 last weekend in the Hampton and In-Suites tournament at Northern Colorado. Virginia, they hosted the Cavalier Classic at Memorial Gym, went 2-1. As Kudryashova had that one blocked back. No opening there as Madison Matthews and Novakovic sent it back. Cavaliers beat Furman and Loyola Maryland before losing in the finale to Coastal Carolina in straight sets. And another bad first contact there from Rutgers, so the errors now starting to pile up, and that will prompt a quick timeout from C.J. Warnicki. Cavaliers have shifted the tide of this first set. They're up by 2 when we get back on BTN Plus. So look at the series history between these two Power 5 programs with a ton of history on their side. They have met 4 times. However, this is the first meeting in nearly 3 decades. Matthews to finish. These two haven't met since 1991. But all the history has been on the side of Virginia. A perfect 4-0 against Rutgers. They've never lost. We mentioned how most of those meetings taking place in the 80s and 90s. So the Scarlet Knights will try to etch a win for themselves into the history books for the first time against Virginia today. Nice dig from Swackenberg to absorb the contact. And Kudryshova struggling to find that good balance on her right hand. And really, Rutgers has not done anything to put the pressure on Virginia since that first time out the Cavaliers took 6 points ago. It has been 6 in a row for the Cavs. And the error will finally break the streak there. Very important for Virginia to get off to a good start here after they took down Princeton in 4 sets yesterday. As there's the Scarlet Knight ace from Maryland Light. They got off to a terribly slow start against Towson, losing the first 2 sets and only scoring a combined 26 points. Perfectly tipped over from Novakovic. She continues to stay red hot this weekend. But after those first 2 really bad sets against Towson, Virginia was able to fight back, but it was just too little too late. They know how important getting off to a good start is, and Novakovic has been able to lead the way for them. Serves up an error there, but we take a look at her performances yesterday. A whopping 17 kills against Princeton and hit 400 to go along with 7 blocks. And then she was the only Cavalier to get into double figures in the match against Towson, had 14 kills. She should do well to get nearly 50 kills this weekend. There's their main target, Sarah Billiard, and right on cue, Novakovic has done a good job of taking some of the pressure off of Billiard, because when Virginia plays ACC matches, basically their opponents are going to try to double up Billiard and take away her ability to change matches. So Novakovic has already done a great job of offering a second look. There's Stackhouse. That's what Stackhouse offers, that veteran presence, that versatility in the middle, ability to hit from the middle or slide out that running cut shot. Big serve here from Kudryshova. They go back to Billiard, but the Scarlet Knights block it back. Stackhouse and Marmon. And what else does Jasmine Stackhouse do well? Well, of course, she blocks. Over 300 for her career. She's already in the top 10 in the all-time blocks list. Swackenberg trying to keep it alive. And more on Stackhouse, had 120 blocks last year. That was a single-season record since the rally point scoring began in the mid-2000s. And if she's able to replicate those numbers this year, she will find herself right inside the top 2 all time. Norman, there's that power. There's that power that led Marmon to participating in Japan this last summer with the Big Ten All-Stars. First set continues to stay tight. Rutgers trying to tie it up. And that time, Maximova did get the deflection. So a good answer from Rutgers as they've come back to tie it here at 20 apiece. Rutgers back in the positive in terms of their hitting, up to 115. That serve goes just long. It's the first service error there of the match for Rutgers. They had done a real good job of putting the pressure on the Virginia defense with the serve. Balico setting for Marmon. Had to come back for her, but got it through the block. And that is what makes Tali Marmon so special, her ability to adjust on the fly. And not only does she bring that big right hand, but she's got precision as well. Here she is again. Oh, but this one's blocked back with emphasis. Jaya Francis and Mila Cyprian. Couple of youngsters for the Who's. Veit got it with the fingertips. And there's the first kill for Merla Veit. Veit had 6 kills, 5 blocks, and hit over 300 versus Princeton yesterday. She's been a model of consistency for this team in the middle. Novakovic. Other side now, and still nothing doing. Rutgers defense starting to step it up at the back end of this first set, and a timeout taken by Virginia. It has been back and forth here in this opening frame. We'll have the conclusion of it for you when we get back on BTN Plus. Rutgers leading 23-22. 2 points away from taking this pivotal first set. Setting the tempo. Well, Novakovic has done a tremendous job of mixing power with finesse. That time finding the space in the middle. Jelena Novakovic, 5 kills, no errors in this first frame. Novakovic already up over 60 kills now here in the early going of this season, hitting over 300. Maximova had to go at it. It was set back. Rutgers scrambling right now. White appealing to referee Jeffrey McKinney for an error, saying Virginia went over the net. There was no call, and now C.J. Wernicke wants to have a discussion. But it was Madison Matthews who on the second attempt was able to flush it home. And I don't think we're going to get a change on the call there. Instead, C.J. Wernicke will take a timeout. So we'll stay right here with you on BTN Plus. Virginia with set point coming out of the timeout. We take a look at where these two could fall within their respective Power 5 conferences this year. Virginia, we mentioned last year, 8-20. They went just 4-13 in ACC play. But with every single starter coming back this year, kind of similar expectations as to Rutgers. They're expected to take a big step forward, and certainly the play that they've shown the first 2 weekends, I'd be surprised if they could not take that step forward. But the ACC getting tougher and tougher as the year goes on. 3 teams inside the AVCA coaches top 25, most notably the Pittsburgh Panthers, who had one of their best years in program history last year, 30 wins. They're inside the top 10 in the country for most of the year, and they were ousted in a 5-set thriller by the Michigan Wolverines, another Big Ten team, in the second round of the tournament last year. But Pittsburgh at 10th in the country, Florida State, number 22, and Louisville at 24. So it certainly will be a battle this year again for Virginia. They've got a set point here. And it goes into the net. It was Cyprian. Not one of the best servers on this team, but gonna get that one in. So 24 apiece. Koyadenovich, did she keep it in? No. Line judge Annie Hung on the left side of your screen said that one was long. C.J. Wernicke is going to challenge this in hopes that there was a deflection along the way. So the tension building here, the suspense building at the end of this first set. Some of those key matches this year for Virginia, ones that they certainly have a chance to win, I'd say would be against Miami. They play them on the road in Coral Gables on October 6th. Some other winnable matches at Boston College in the middle of October. And then they host them for senior night on November 22nd. A couple of matches against Wake Forest, Georgia Tech. Other than those big 3 teams we mentioned before, it seems like it could be a wide open field in the ACC. Although they've got the same format as the Big Ten, no conference tournament, so you've got to play well all year long in hopes of an at-large bid. Certainly not a problem for the majority of teams in the Big Ten. 7 at-large bids last year. And it'll be teams like Nebraska, Penn State, Wisconsin, and Minnesota leading the charge yet again this year in what should be the premier conference in women's volleyball. But I think when you take a look at the overarching storyline between these 2 teams again here today, it's a lot of youth, a lot of promise, and both teams expected to take that next step forward, perhaps into the middle of their respective conferences. They've been hanging in the bottom for the last couple of years. And when you look at head coach C.J. Wernicke and Virginia's coach Aaron Smith, a lot of youth as well. C.J. Wernicke in his 12th year here at Rutgers. A couple of career wins away from 200. And that call going to stand. So second set point now for Virginia.
Substitution for Virginia, number 21, Sarah Fuller.
A lot of promise. The coaching shoes of Aaron Smith as well in his third season. He was named to the AVCA 30 under 30 a couple of years back. His Who's now have a chance for the first set. And it's Madison Matthews who puts it away. Set one to Virginia. 26-24 in a back-and-forth battle. Does Rutgers have the response? Find out when we come back for set number 2 on BTN+.
1-0.
Welcome back here on BTN+. Pat Boyle with you. Set number 1 in the books, and it was the Virginia Cavaliers who were able to outlast Rutgers and take it 26-24. We look at some of the stats from that exciting opening frame, and it was Jelena Novakovic, again, leading the way for the Who's. 5 kills, no errors. She hit 500. And Madison Matthews, who was also stellar in the middle, a perfect 5 for 5. Meanwhile, Tali Mormon leading the way for the Scarlet Knights. And the one big stat that we'll continue to look at today, both of these teams pride themselves on their blocking ability and their defense. And it was Virginia who outblocked the Scarlet Knights in that first set 4-3. In a first set that had 13 ties and 7 lead changes. So you think that one was close? Second set ready to begin. And Virginia in the all-Cavalier blue. Rutgers in the white and black. And it'll be Megan Wilson to serve. Novakovic going right for it. Blast the left hand right down the line. Who's picking up right where they left off. Be very interesting to see the coaching adjustments made in between that first set break. Big back set. Virginia almost kept it alive, but the block comes from Veit and Marmon. It was a very poor first set for Rutgers yesterday to open the Invitational against Townsend. They scored just 14 points, and certainly a lot of worried faces on the Rutgers faithful, but then they bounced back nicely. Winning 6 of the next 7 sets on the day. And it's Camilla Cheshwick as her first kill today. But again, for Rutgers, it was the defense and the blocking that stepped up. And if they're able to continue to stay true to that storyline, it'll be tough to pick a winner here. Novakovic hit it into the post. Just her first error today. She had been basically flawless. It's been a heavy dose of Novakovic and Matthews. You wonder if Aaron Smith is going to start to rely on his big hitter, Sarah Billiard. And now she's on the bench. Maximova found the open space. Anastasia Maximova, 6'1" sophomore from Ulyanovsk, Russia. Mentioned nice performance yesterday for her, 8 kills and 7 digs versus Princeton. Novakovic that time going with the changeup, and it works out. For Rutgers, you see a lot of international players. We mentioned up and down the line, Serbia, Russia, Israel, Germany, a lot of contingents. Meanwhile, for Novakovic, he's basically the only international player on the Cavaliers roster. As a matter of fact, she is indeed the only international player. So that one gets through. That's Maximova again. She had a strong second set against Princeton yesterday, and she is coming alive here in the second frame as well. She's got a lot of power. There's an ace. Third ace on the day, and this one comes from Meryl Levite. She had just 7 all of last year, but already 4 here in the early going of this campaign. Virginia responds right away. Christine Charman. Nice dig that time. Jana Francis able to get to it. Maximova once more. Heavy dose of the Russian on the far side. And I think right now, more than anything, is CJ Wernicke is exploiting the weakness in the Virginia front line. There's no Mila Cyprian in right now. That is their number 1 blocker, the sophomore in the middle at Billiard, who also contributes on the block, also on the bench. And now it's Novakovic and Megan Wilson that is having to carry the load. And how about that? Another ace. It's Camilla Cheshlik and Virginia. They kind of look lost right now in the serve-receive. They're letting a lot of balls go that are in by quite some distance. And another one. Aaron Smith might want to take a timeout. Right now his team is having trouble just getting a second contact. And multiple discussions between Megan Wilson and the head referee, Jeffrey McKinney. I'm not sure what exactly that's about. Had a couple of conversations already. Wonder if it's anything about the serve. Maybe perhaps trying to appeal that Rutgers is faulting on their serve. That's a good response, Novakovic. And now we're going to see Sarah Billiard come back in here. So the Cavaliers loading up on their big weapons. Had contact there from Jarman. They're going to credit Milevich. Nah, there was no block on that one. Cavaliers hitting just 111 here in this second set. Rutgers, meanwhile, hitting 300. That'll help to bring it up. We go back to Jarman. And she'll go off and take a break, and Alex Spencer, 5'11" junior libero from North Canton, Ohio, will come on and serve here. Spencer second on the team in aces, floats that one in. Milevich, was there a deflection? Yes, there was. Stasha Milevich, mentioned her a couple of times yesterday. Had her season cut short to a rough injury in the beginning of October last year, but she has come back with a lot of vengeance for this year, and she is certainly an integral part in that middle. And another Rutgers ace. these don't seem like unreturnable. I think right now Virginia just kind of has to up the focus. Really struggling with that first contact, and now they can't even get the ball back. Aaron Smith has seen enough. Wants a timeout. Scarlet Knights taking advantage of some sloppy Virginia play here in this second set. They are up by 7. Trying to level things up at a set apiece. We get back.
How you doing? Good. You?
See what Aaron Smith said to his team during that break. A lot of potential for Aaron Smith to be one of the next big coaches across women's volleyball. Not too long ago, he was one of the key members of the Penn State men's volleyball team in the mid-2000s, went to 4 straight NCAA tournaments. He was the 2003 VHSL Player of the Year. And after a couple of years on the assistant side of things here at Virginia, he's now in his 3rd season at the head of the Hoos. We've mentioned before he was named to the AVCA 30 under 30 in 2013, representing the top 30 coaches yet to turn 30 across all collegiate volleyball. Virginia still struggling just to return serve here. Right now, if you're Rutgers, you've got to try to put your foot on the throat here in this second set. They might not have to. The Cavaliers are just hurting themselves, point after point. Another timeout. 15-6, Rutgers down a set, but looking comfortable here in the second frame on BTN Plus.
The Rutgers Scarlet Knights volleyball team will be back at the barn on Wednesday, September 25th, as we bring on the Michigan Wolverines and kick off the big practice schedule at 7 p.m. The first 50 fans in attendance will receive a cool volleyball t-shirt, and to enhance the game experience just a little bit, the Rutgers University Pac-Man will be in attendance for that match.
We were talking about Aaron Smith coming out of that last break, and pretty calm, cool demeanor, but he was certainly upset with his team after taking that last time out. And we've already seen a couple of discussions between Virginia players and the head referee, Jeffrey McKinney. We're seeing another one right now on the near side of your screen. Maybe something to do with the net. I'm not sure what really a lot of the discussion is about, trying to hear it from over at our broadcast setup. But Aaron Smith mentioned AVCA 30 under 30 back in 2013. Helped Virginia as an assistant coach to 3 straight winning seasons for the first time in over a decade. The Cavaliers are finally able to scratch across a point. But certainly no stranger to the Big Ten either. Smith spent 3 seasons on the sidelines for Northwestern. The Wildcats made the NCAA tournament in 2010 for just the second time in history. That one's wide. And a lot of the times, certainly you have to have the ability, you have to have the knowledge to coach, but sometimes if you're in the right place at the right time, your program is winning. It's a testament to your hard work, and Smith has been a product of that at Northwestern and on the sidelines for Virginia. Too much power there for Marmon. Scarlet Knights trying to finish off this second set without too many issues. 2/3 of the way there. Big hit from Cyprian, but it was dug out. Virginia putting bodies on the floor now. They already look much better than they did at the start of this set, but that one's wide. And that is going to put the Cavaliers right at the 0-0 line in terms of their hitting efficiency this set. And Marmon's got herself her 7th kill. She is sitting just under 500. Another solid performance so far from the sophomore. Dig from Belico. For a chance. Billiard over the top. Belico tried to avoid the net and did, and the error is going to be on Virginia. Well, I think right now, and I think it's been clear for a while now that this second set is going to go the way of Rutgers, barring a total collapse. But Aaron Smith has to start formulating a message to his team going forward, because if they continue to play like this is going to be over in 4. That goes long. Rutgers still hitting well over 300 here in this second set. But it was this kind of play that Virginia displayed in the first 2 sets last night against Towson. After they cleaned things up, you thought that they'd be okay for today, but some of those issues starting to resurface, but there's the good blocking. Novakovic and Cyprian back on the block. Marmon just got enough on that one. You'll see her rotate all over the floor, outside, right side. Doesn't really come from the back a whole lot, but from either post, she is lethal. Our side, Maximova through the alley, but a nice dig that time from Kelsey Miller. Jeslick. Big time booming hit there from the junior from Tennessee. Jeslick just 2 kills, although she did it on 2 chances against Towson, so she was perfectly efficient in that match. Had 6 kills against Princeton. That time an error on the Scarlet Knights. 21-11, Scarlet Knights primed to level this match up at 1 set apiece. Maximova that time, too much power. And in terms of just raw power, I think on this Rutgers team, Maximova is probably the one. We've seen her hit some blistering shots this weekend, and And she showed a lot of stretches of it last year as well. If she could add an element of precision to her game, boy, would she be very dangerous. They're going to go back to her. Back set from Beliko. Kept alive, sent back to the Scarlet Knights. And it's Milevich. Stasha Milevich eclipsed the 300 career kill mark at some point this season. Nice hit that time from Cyprian, but it goes wide. Line judge Jacques Benoit was all over that one and just missed the tape. Now a baker's dozen of set points here for Rutgers. And the block to finish off a dominant second set. Milevich and Maximova rejected. An emphatic response from Rutgers, 25-11 in set number 2. We are all squared away at a set apiece here in the final match of the Rutgers Invitational. Set 3 coming up next on BTN Plus. Welcome back here, folks, on BTN Plus. Pat Boyle alongside you, the rest of our BTN Plus production crew. Mark D'Agostino spearheading things. Hope you're enjoying your weekend here. College football, another week. Another exciting week of games. NFL season officially beginning tomorrow. Plenty of exciting things going on this weekend. And here inside the College Ave Gymnasium, here at the barn, we find ourselves locked in a good one. The final match of this 2019 Rutgers Invitational. Scarlet Knights looking for a perfect weekend. They are tied one set apiece here with the Virginia Cavaliers. After Virginia won a tight one in set 1 that went back and forth, Rutgers dominated the last set. So we'll see where we go from here. And there's the Scarlet Knights blocks. Out and about, Cheshlik and Stackhouse. Said if Rutgers was going to bounce back after that first set loss, they were going to need to do it with their defense, and they certainly did. 3 blocks in that last set, but it was really a lot of sloppy Virginia play. They kind of just fell apart. Cheshlik has herself her second kill of this match. We've talked at length in the last 2 years about Camilla Cheshlik, all of the potential as a freshman, had a breakout year, had a bit of a quieter sophomore season, but certainly a key member of that outside hitting team. And she's got another. Give her 4 kills now, actually. She's hitting just under 500 today. Very streaky hitter. Maximova not able to handle the heat there from Jana Francis, the freshman who has had an outstanding weekend. Had 16 kills, 8 digs, and hit .429 against Princeton. And then followed that up with 8 kills, although she hit in the negative against Towson. And there's a block, an emphatic one in the middle. Cyprian and Novakovic, that's been the most common blocking duo today for Virginia. And Stackhouse dispatches that one down the middle. Jasmine Stackhouse coming up on 400 career kills in the Scarlet Red. 385 to be exact for her career. Cyprian able to get that one through, and now we'll see a change here. Madison Matthews will come back on and replace Kelsey Miller. name we haven't seen at all yet today, very surprisingly so, Chino Anuquim, 6-foot senior from East Hanover, New Jersey. That one's through the middle. It's Francis again. Freshman has had no qualms and no worries about stepping into a big role in her first year in Charlottesville. She has continued to impress here in the early going. Looking for Christine Jarman. Jarman, another player that's had a very good weekend so far. 5 kills against Princeton. Jarman followed that up with 8 kills against Towson. She's got 4 more today. It's almost able to corral that one, but Cheshlick's got herself another kill. Tied at 5 apiece here in this third set. Rutgers continuing to go after that far side blocking unit of Virginia. Go after it again. And Milevich able to just flush it back home. A lot of the errors from that second set continuing to resurface here for the Cavaliers. Just haven't been able to consistently stay in system and in rotation today. Blocked and falls wide. Maximova and Milevich closed it off there. A lot of power there, and Maliko had to just get out of the way. Addison Matthews, another freshman, a lot of promise on this team. Virginia, I think, again, if we wanted to try to compare these two side by side, we mentioned all the youth. I think it could be said that Virginia is maybe 1 year where Rutgers was last year. All the promising freshmen that Rutgers had last year. That's kind of the setup of the Cavaliers roster. Levitch is going to get credit with that one. Look at the freshmen like Jana Francis, Madison Matthews. Nice job there from Cheshlick to get to it. And Maximova on the second effort with the slam. And an ace from from Cheshlick. Boy, what a match she is having. Third ace of the match for Camilla Cheshlick, and that prompts a timeout from Aaron Smith. Rutgers with 3 in a row. They've grabbed the lead here in set number 3 on BTN Plus. Couple minutes past 3 o'clock here on the East Coast. We're inside the barn here on BTN Plus. Rutgers with a 10-6 lead over Virginia here in set number 3. Through the alley, good response. Sarah Billiard starting to get back into things. And a lot of expectations put on Billiard this year after she led the team in kills with over 350 a year ago. Having to basically adjust to a new position on the right side. As there's an ace as that one just clipped the top of the net. Billiard second on the team in kills coming into today, but it certainly has been a bit of an adjustment for her for a new position. Wow, phenomenal dig there from Miller. Sprawled out on the court to get that one. But Rutgers able to win the point anyway. Milevich. Speaking of the court, this beautiful Jimmy V Terraflex court, which was foundation was laid for it before the 2017 season. It's just one of 11 of its type in the entire country, and it is the type of court that is used in the Summer Olympics. One of the big additions that has been one of the drawing points in recruiting for C.J. Wernicke. Playing on one of probably the best court you possibly could. A lot of additions to this Rutgers program being made over the last couple of years. And it's one of the many things that lead a lot of this Rutgers community to believe that there is a ton of promise for this volleyball program in the years to come. Cavaliers grab that last one to stay within 2 here. Much better response in terms of their offensive efficiency here in this set. Just under 300 here in this third frame after an abysmal second set. Marmon got enough of it and make it 8 kills for Tali Marmon. I mentioned a career-high 17 against Princeton in the final match for Rutgers yesterday. She started with 14 kills against Towson yesterday morning. She's got one shy of 40 for the weekend. Billiard hit that one way too long, didn't get on top of it. Second effort, Cheshlik gets to it, and then Stackhouse puts it over the top. But referees say error on Rutgers. I think Stackhouse and Belico both touched it at the same time. The point does indeed go to Virginia. The atmosphere in the crowd, though, is starting to get better and better. A lot of energy in this building right now. And Belico with a dump set kill, her trademark finish. It takes awareness, it takes precision, and it takes skill to be able to pull that off as a setter. She makes it look easy. Good second effort from Marmon to keep it alive. Cheshlik hits that one well long. Both fan bases out in support of their programs. The Virginia community making the drive from Charlottesville, trying to give Rutgers their first loss at home this season. And Marmon wearing down the Virginia defense. Her 9th kill. We mentioned Rutgers undefeated at home on the season. Those, of course, the 2 matches from yesterday. But with a win today, Rutgers would win all 3 home games this weekend. They only won 2 home matches all last season. And that was just the Rutgers Invitational from last year that they had, and then their Big Ten home slate. 2-11 here in the barn last year. So in a year where they're looking to take another step forward, I think surpassing your home win total in the second weekend of the season is certainly affirming one of those steps forward. Beliko right now being tended to by the Rutgers coaching and training staff. Anna Kostenko, the assistant coach, helping out the training staff right now. I'm not sure if there was some blood on her hand or if there was a cut or whatnot. Just some housekeeping over there going on right now. Rutgers leading 15-11. Here in set number 3. After today, the Scarlet Knights return home for their Big Ten home opener. 2.5 weeks from now, from now. September 25th, they will go toe-to-toe with the Michigan Wolverines, one of the 7 Big Ten programs inside the top 25. It was last year here at the barn. Rutgers failed to pick up a win here at home, and they're going to win that point. Ace for Marmon. That's now 8 aces for Rutgers. It looks like the off-season work in the serving department is certainly paying off as well. That one is well long, but was there a deflection? No. Rutgers had 5 aces against Townsend, 6 against Princeton, but we mentioned they've already got 8 here in this one. And another. Make it 9. Well, they set a program record last year against Coppin State where they smashed 14. But the big serving of the Scarlet Knights pacing them to another comfortable lead here in set 3. They're up 18-11 when we get back on BTN Plus. Big Ten opener for Rutgers comes on September 25th against Michigan. The only meeting last year was in Ann Arbor. It was a comfortable straight set win for the Wolverines. There's Maximova. Still nothing doing. Virginia defense starting to step up. 3 tries. They've all been sent back. How about a 4th? Call is yes, Rutgers again wearing down this Virginia defense. After a long weekend, you wonder how much fatigue plays into this. And another ace, make it an even 10 aces for Rutgers. My goodness, what an impressive serving display today. To finish the note from before, before. Those that were in attendance here last year for the home Big Ten opener witnessed Rutgers nearly pull off a stunning upset of Ohio State. They were up 2-1 before the Buckeyes were able to come back and claim the 4th and 5th. Virginia able to finally break a 6-0 Rutgers run right there. That last kill coming from Cyprian. Quick set. Stackhouse tried to redirect it. Got too much of it. Still surprising, we have not seen Chino Anukwum yet for Virginia. She did play in both matches yesterday, so Chechlik hammers another one. I wonder if Aaron Smith is going to bring in one of his most efficient hitters that have come through this program in recent memory, or if she's going to get the day off. We have not seen her. I also haven't seen senior setter Jennifer Weinhold. Actually, she just came in recently. Booming hit that time, and Swackenberg able to get to it. And Rutgers turn defense into offense. Yes, they can. Maximova, a team leading 9 kills now, and the Rutgers crowd is starting to feel it. Big time point right there. Rutgers crowd on their feet. Scarlet Knights within 3 points here of taking a 2-1 lead. Swackenberg, dig after dig, and Marmon nearly fizzed that one right past everybody. That was well long. Haven't talked yet about in depth the liberos on both these sides. 2 liberos that are going to go down as some of the best ever in their respective programs once they're done here. Kelsey Miller, a senior from Crestwood, Kentucky, and Carissa Swackenberg, a senior from Colorado. Time in the middle is Matthews. Swackenberg with over 1,000 digs in her career, already inside the top 10 all-time for Rutgers, and Miller also over 1,000 career digs. She matches her numbers from last year. She'll be in the top 5 when she leaves. And those are 2 big pieces that each coach is going to have to replace come 2020. But whatever was giving Ina Belico trouble before on her finger or on her hand has resurfaced. She's getting tended to once again. It's been a great weekend here inside the barn. And we'll see CJ Wernicke take a timeout. We will too. Conclusion of this 3rd set when we get back on BTN Plus. So Ina Belico, that, I think it's a left thumb that was wrapped. Looks like she kind of fell awkwardly on it, or tweaked it a little bit. It is re-wrapped. She is ready to go, and so are we here. 22-15. Scarlet Knights leading late in this third set. Back set for Cheshwick. She has been a real problem for Virginia here in this second frame. She'll try another swing. Long set cross to Maximova, who puts it away. Double figures for Anastasia Maximova. Got a long line of volleyball in her family history. Both of her grandfather and both parents played volleyball competitively in Russia. And she had volleyball in her blood. Belico finishes that. It was Maximova who nearly made the Russian junior national team. She was invited to tryouts. She worked out alongside both Nastia Kudryashova and Ina Belico. Virginia able to fight off a set point there. But those three Russians, both close-knit. They knew each other before coming to Rutgers, and they've been able to strengthen that bond since. Belico is the starting setter on the Russian junior national team. And you mentioned Maximova went to tryouts. Kudryashova was also invited to a junior national team training camp before she got here. Here is Maximova to finish the set. You betcha. Anastasia Maximova, the big hitter for Rutgers here at the end of this third set. And the Scarlet Knights have dominated these last two frames. They take this one 25-16. They've got a 2-1 lead. Can Virginia send it to a fifth? Or will Rutgers have a perfect weekend here at home? Find out when we get back on BTN Plus. So welcome back here inside the barn. Scarlet Knights a set away from a perfect weekend here at home in the Rutgers Invitational. We mentioned last year, Rutgers, they were upended in the second match against Tulane. They went on to win the tournament. Scarlet Knights looking to do that for the first time since they started hosting this Invitational again. And this really would be a huge bounce-back weekend after a disappointing start to the season last weekend. And I think it would kind of reaffirm the expectations that C.J. Wernicke set for this program this year. Rutgers certainly with a lot more winnable matches in their pre-conference schedule. Next weekend they head to Colgate for the Ellis Rowland Memorial Tournament. They'll take on New Hampshire, Quinnipiac, and Colgate, a team that swept them last year when they played them in their first tournament of the year, Molten Classic at Cal. It was another tournament that Rutgers went winless in, so that should be a very good matchup. Those other two against Quinnipiac and New Hampshire, both very winnable for Rutgers. Scarlet Knights, they could be looking perhaps at a 6-3 record by the end of next weekend. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but trying to finish off things here first, and it's Marmon with another kill. Final non-conference weekend for Rutgers 2 weeks from now. What C.J. Wernicke calls the mimicked Big Ten preseason weekend. And they'll take on American and Howard back-to-back nights in D.C. And that one finished, floored by Cheshwick. Rutgers, they've been flexing those muscles now the last couple of sets. A lot of big hitting. Right now, they're firing on all cylinders. Virginia's going to have to make a big adjustment if they want to have a chance to come back and win this. And there's another service ace. Again, the big word that we've been throwing around this weekend and since the start of this season is adversity. Tipped through by Francis. Jana Francis now with 3 kills for the match. Rutgers faced adversity in preseason. Faced adversity last weekend going winless. And they have faced adversity, albeit in smaller sample sizes, as Virginia with a big kill there. They faced adversity in smaller sample sizes this weekend. Started the weekend off yesterday by only scoring 14 points in the first set against Townsend, but they battled back nicely for the win. Lost a set yesterday to Princeton, but were able to battle through some issues. And again here today, losing the first set against Virginia. They've battled back. They've showed a lot of resolve. Maximova, team leading 12th kill. Here's Swackenberg to serve. Already has an ace today. She's had an ace in all 3 matches this weekend. That one, I don't think it ever made it over. We'll see if they credit Rutgers with a block there, but I don't think that ever made it over from Christine Jarman. That time Jarman able to find the corner nicely there. We talked about one of the key matchups today for these two teams was which defense was going to perform better, which team was going to block more efficiently. Since that first set, it has been Rutgers. And give credit to the offense. They've really started to gel here over the course of this weekend. They've got another one. No, it's still going. Another finish for Jarman. She is amped up. Virginia trying to battle themselves back here, trying to inspire some self-confidence, some willpower. Bench just trying to will them along here. And they've got a block. Big one, too. Matthews and Billiard. Virginia seemed like they were possibly down and out after the beginning of this set. They have roared back. Marmon from the back line with her 10th kill. 3 straight matches now with double-digit finishes for Tali Marmon. This is a Virginia team that held their opponents to hitting under 160 coming into today. Rutgers has done well. 243 hitting clip. Back to Maximova. Right through the heart of that Virginia defense, through the alley. That is her go-to setup. When you get her on the far side and she's able to go hammer it back through the alley, cross court, that's her best shot. And she tried to go soft. That one's blocked back. Marmon gets rejected by Jarman and Matthews. This Virginia team credit. are still fighting. This result certainly not a formality by any circumstance. Rutgers has looked the stronger of the two. Maximova, another kill. Novakovic back into the mix. Hey, they need to get her going again. Right on cue, her left hand was sent back. Another try. Keshlik, did they get the deflection? No. Milevich thinks so. She appealing right over to C.J. Wernicke, wanting him to challenge, but the Scarlet Knights actually do get the point. Didn't see the confirmation of that call being overturned. The Cavaliers going back and forth here. Novakovic for their 9th kill. Try Marmon on the outside. Somebody on the Virginia bench was yelling for it. Too little, too late. Yesterday it was Marmon and Koyedinovich in the match against Princeton. There's another ace. Stasha Milevich. Timeout, Virginia. Scarlet Knights have taken control of this 4th set. Can they put Virginia away? Or do the Cavaliers have an answer? Come back next on BTN Plus. So out of the timeout, here's Milevich to serve. Rutgers leading 2-1 and 11-7, and nearly another ace. Rutgers a dozen aces today, 2 shy of the program record they set last year. And they fired 14 against Coppin State. Nice dig there from Miller, and Virginia keeps the point alive. Bump set for Novakovic, and an error on Rutgers. Again, this Cavaliers team refusing to relent. They're just trying to will themselves across here, trying to inspire the belief that they can come back. Back set for Stackhouse, and the finish for the senior from Detroit, Michigan. Stackhouse, 7 kills after just won in each of the matches yesterday. Back to Novakovic. Boy, that was a blistering strike there. 11 kills for Jelena Novakovic. And a big-time finish from Stackhouse there. Meanwhile, by the way, with the kill she had at the beginning of this set, Jelena Novakovic is now over 600 career kills as a Virginia Cavalier. Congratulations to her on another milestone. Big time hitting there from Jana Francis. Freshman continuing to swing away with belief. That one's through, but it's wide. So back and forth we go here in this fourth set. Looks like we got a challenge here. CJ Warnicki going to again challenge that there was a deflection. More on the 6'3" senior from Serbia, Jelena Novakovic. Spent her first 2 years at what I guess you probably could refer to as Volleyball U, Penn State. Redshirted, and then played just 5 sets as a redshirt freshman for the Nittany Lions in 2016, and she decided that playing for Russ Rose wasn't her decision and transferred to Virginia, where she has been one of the stars of this program over the last 3 years. Novakovic probably knows Stasha Milevich pretty well. Played for the Serbian junior national team, earned a gold medal at the U19 European Championships back in 2014. Also played club volleyball for Red Star Belgrade, one of the best club teams in all of Serbia. It's Novakovic who has continued to have a big weekend here for the Cavaliers, but you got to imagine that the rest of this fourth set, they've got to rely on their big hitter, Sarah Billiard, and then when Novakovic comes back on the court, it's got to be a heavy dose of the two of them. Give Aaron Smith credit. He has tried to mix in Jana Francis, Madison Matthews, Christine Jarman, and to some success. Well, you look at Jarman and Jarman and Francis, both of them hitting under 100 during this match. So when their backs are against the wall, expect to see Billiard and Novakovic towards the end of this set. That call did stand, by the way, so it is Virginia point, down 13-12, a chance to tie it up here in set number 4. Quick set for Stackhouse. Maximova didn't get enough of it. Couldn't use her favored right hand there. Tried to use the left and tried to adjust in midair. Couldn't do so. Belico kept that alive off the net. Well done. And another job well done by Belico, keeping that one alive. And then the block from Stackhouse and Cheshwick. A relentless pursuit and great hustle from Ina Belico had to save 2 different chances where A lot of the times that would have been an easy point for Virginia. I think Aaron Smith is going to challenge that last point. Perhaps that the second one that Belico got to, maybe it hit the floor first.
Virginia is challenging the one on the floor.
Yes, so the challenge is that second dig from Belico, she laid out, challenges that one actually hit the hardwood. So we'll see, get the review of that. Meanwhile, we had a jam-packed slate across other teams in the Big Ten. You could all find on BTN Plus. And we've got plenty of more exciting matches today as we take you across the Big Ten schedule. Plenty of teams hosting tournaments. We take a look at the schedule across today. See that Ohio State able to take down Duquesne already earlier this afternoon in Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, Michigan State hosting Tennessee. That one already underway. Penn State hosting LSU in Iowa. Illinois and Colorado going at it. That's later this afternoon. Iowa against Washington. That's one of the marquee matchups today. That's at 8 o'clock tonight. Iowa hosting their tournament in Iowa City. Florida taking on Minnesota, a couple of NCAA tournament teams from last year. That one in Minneapolis at 8 o'clock tonight. Just the lone match tomorrow on Sunday. Yale will take on Indiana at 1 o'clock. Another loaded schedule of matches next weekend. Big Ten conference play starting in less than 3 weeks. It's almost here. That call stands as well. So Rutgers Point, they've got the lead back here, 14-13, leading 2-1. And a scramble just to get that one back. That one's going to be long. Rutgers hitting under 160 now here in this fourth set. Cavaliers, meanwhile, they've cleaned it up nicely, hitting at 250. They got to keep it up, though. Jashelek with way too much power in the tank there. Crushed it right at Cyprian. And the sophomore didn't have the reactions for it. Second effort, it's Maximova. She's up to 15 kills now. Go along with 7 digs. Another couple of good feeds there from Mina Belico. She's got 41 assists. And how about another ace for the Scarlet Knights? 13 aces. One shy of tying a program record. And they nearly did so there. Dump set kill almost worked, and then the finish from Matthews. A couple of changes now for Virginia, and this is the part of the match where we said Aaron Smith will definitely start to load up on their big weapons. Novakovic, Billiard, both in right now, along with Matthews. The Scarlet Knights continue to chip away. Senior Jennifer Weinhold has come in. set, kill for Baliko. Works out again. Ina Baliko once again stuffing the stat sheet. We mentioned last year she was the first ever Rutgers Big Ten Weekly Award when she won Freshman of the Week early on in the season. And her sophomore campaign, she's continued to get better and better. 3 kills today, 9 digs, and 42 assists. Virginia's going to challenge. Meanwhile, we've seen Virginia use a trio of setters so far this season, but today it's been Megan Wilson, the senior from Brookville, Maryland, who has carried the load. 23 assists for her today. The efficiency and the rhythm with which Virginia played in during that first set, it just seems like they haven't really been able to get back to that level consistently in the 3 sets since. Right now, their backs are against the wall. Rutgers needing just 6 more points to win the match. You wonder what Aaron Smith and his coaching staff is drawing up right now. We got the call from second official Charles Azigbo. It is going to stand. So the finish line in the sights of Rutgers. A couple of points away from finishing off a perfect weekend here at home and winning the Rutgers Invitational. Novakovic. Something to say about that. 12 kills for the Serbian. See Alex Spencer, a serving specialist on this team, come back on here. Virginia just 3 aces to Rutgers 13 today. Over the top, great diving dig. Weinhold able to keep it alive. Couldn't get to that one, though. Hallie Marmon with 12 kills and a double-double as she has 10 digs. Mentioned at the start of the broadcast, Scarlet Knights trying to beat Virginia for the first time in program history. 0-4 coming into today. It's been 28 years since their last meeting. Novakovic, change up. Virginia needs this point badly, and they're not going to get it. Blocked back, Marmon and Stackhouse. (21-16) Rutgers. Timeout, Virginia. Rutgers will try to finish off the Cavaliers and take home the Rutgers Invitational title when we get back on BTN Plus.
And just to add a little bit of excitement to the atmosphere on Wednesday night, the Rutgers University Tech Band will be making their second appearance of the season in the ball. Matt Boyle back with you here on BTN Plus. That
Comes long from Milevich. Rutgers beat Towson in 4 yesterday, beat Princeton in 4. Virginia beat Princeton in 4 and then lost to Towson in 4 last night. Scarlet Knights can put any conversation about tiebreakers and who would officially win the tournament if they can beat Virginia here in this match. The Cavaliers, though, not done yet. Kelsey Miller to serve. Wow, tremendous defense there from the Cavs to keep it alive. And nearly a block. Rutgers now on the defensive. Novakovic calling for it. Not the best setups there. Another great dig from Miller. She has been all over the place on defense today. The jostle at the net, and it's Belico who pushes it through. Another long rally, a critical point, this time taken by Rutgers. Scarlet Knights came into this match hitting just 165 on the season. They're at 245 for this match. The offense has continued to step up, and it's Cheshlik. Another easy finish. A dozen kills and 10 digs. A double-double for Camilla Cheshlik. Big time hit from Novakovic. 13 kills for her to lead the way for the Hoods. She'll step off here. Aaron Smith, one of his best blockers on the court. He's got him, but they can't formulate the point. Marmon, kill number 13. The Rutgers crowd on their feet. It is match point here for the Scarlet Knights. Championship point as well, if you will. And they won't do it on the serve, at least not yet. Well short there from Marmon. What a bounce-back weekend this will be for Rutgers after going winless in Colorado. A lot of good programs were here this weekend. Rutgers trying to turn them all away. And they do it here. Not yet. Virginia fighting for their lives right now. And it's over. The final kill from Maximova. And the Scarlet Knights have won the Rutgers Invitational. They take down Virginia to complete a perfect weekend. They win this one in 4 sets, coming from behind 24-26, 25-11, 25-16, and 25-20. Tremendous weekend for Rutgers. They go to 3-3 on the season. They are still undefeated at home, 3-0, a perfect weekend. And head coach C.J. Wernicke and this program certainly have to be feeling real good about themselves after this one. Virginia falls to 3-3 on the year. A good weekend for the Cavaliers, but a couple of disappointing losses. They will look to regroup next weekend. The Scarlet Knights are at Colgate next weekend for the next tournament. They're back home here for the Big Ten opener on Wednesday, September 25th against Michigan. We hope to see you then, either here in the barn or listening and watching live. Until then, for everybody here on our BTN Plus production crew, including Mark D'Agostino and Pat Boyle, saying thanks so much for joining us all weekend long. The Scarlet Knights win the 2019 Rutgers Invitational. So long, folks.